I'm Debbie Godfrey. Welcome to the Positive Parenting Pep Talks podcast.
Today's pep talk is on teaching kids responsibility. Oftentimes we tell our kids what to do, when to do, how to do from the time they get up. And what happens is they start to just tune us out and not do what they're asked to do and forget and do a lousy job because they don't feel responsible for what they're doing. When we give them, lists and things to do and keep nagging and telling them, 10, 15, 20 times, they completely tune that out. And so the way to teach responsibility is to actually give responsibility. And until a child's given responsibility, they really don't take the power and do what they're supposed to do. So how can you give responsibility to children versus teaching responsibility? Well, teaching responsibility is the talking about it. So when you notice that you're going on and saying, how many times have I told you it's your responsibility to clean your room? You need to get your room cleaned up. Or how many times have I asked you to clean the dishes or set up the table or whatever it is? Every time that you have that speech, it's going to be interpreted as nagging, complaining. They're going to hear it as blah, 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 and they're going to tune it out.
Look, Bumble knows you're exhausted by dating. All the must not take yourself too seriously and 6'1" since that matters. And what do I even say other than hey? Well, that's why they're introducing an all-new Bumble with exciting features to make compatibility easier, starting the chat better, and dating safer. They've changed, so you don't have to. Download the new Bumble now.
So how would you give responsibility? Well, one of the ways to do it is to just tell them one time what you expect them or want them to do, and then leave them to it. And even say, I really need for you to clean up your room. We're having company this weekend, and it's really important that that happens. And is there anything that you need from me in order to make sure that you can get that done? And listen and see, maybe there's something that your child needs that you could provide that would help them be able, willing, capable of getting that room clean. And if it doesn't happen, instead of asking again, look at why am I not getting buy-in? Why am I not getting my child to do what they're supposed to do? And see if there's some part of how you asked, how you implemented, that you could do differently. And one of the ways I would approach that with the child, instead of saying, I asked you to do this and you said you would do it and now you're not doing it, is to sit down and say, wow, I noticed that we had this talk and I said, would you please have your room clean? And it's not finished yet. So, is there something I communicated unclearly? Is there something that you need before you can get that done? What's going on here? And be inquiring as to why it's not done. Why is there not buy-in? And see if you can find an answer, because in that answer will be your solution and what your child needs and what you can do to help them achieve the task. And by doing it this way, by really giving your child the responsibility and empowering them to be responsible themselves, that's how they become more and more responsible. So making sure that you're not carrying the responsibility for them. Make sure that you're turning it over and then coaching along the way. Coaching, helping, supporting, being there for them. And you'll find that you'll get a much more responsible, helpful, respectful child. So have a great day.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode of the Positive Parenting Pep Talks podcast. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Debbie Godfrey, owner and founder of positiveparenting.com. I hope you'll go and check out my website and follow me on Instagram and let me know about what you thought about today's episode. Did you learn something new? Were you able to do something different with your children? Did you have a success story? Those are my favorite to share. Let me know. Contact me. I'd love to hear from you. And also, what future topics would you be interested in hearing about on the Positive Parenting Pep Talks podcast? Thank you so much for being here and for all of your support. Take care and happy parenting.